Whatever she said, then I'm mad. If this here rocks to y'all, then you mad. Whatever she said, then I'm mad. If this here rocks to y'all, then you mad.
Hey, how's it going, YouTube and G Team? It is Major G, and it's time for another death battle. It's been a while since I've seen any of them. So the next one I'm going to be watching is going to be Sora from the Kingdom Hearts series versus Pit from the Kid Icarus series. Now, I'm familiar with both of these characters. I actually used to play. I used to have Kid Icarus for the original Game Boy, and it's actually a really difficult game. So I never really got that far. I think I only got as far as the second level. I think it was 2-3 or something like that. So I'm not 100% sure of his full range of Pit's full range of abilities. But of course, I most remember him from Captain N, the Game Master, where they changed his name to Kid Icarus to reflect the game, but I mean it was still him. And then once again I saw him in he was in Smash Brothers. They added him to Smash Brothers, to which I'm still waiting for them to add Captain N, because he deserves a shot. He deserves an invitation to Smash Brothers. And I have played most of Kingdom Hearts. I would say I've played the original one. I remember when it first came out, and I have the game somewhere I have the original Kingdom Hearts somewhere for PlayStation 2 that I used to have. I think it might be at my parents' house actually, in a box somewhere, and or maybe that was one of the ones that no. But I also have played most of Kingdom Hearts 2. I never actually finished the end boss battle, because there's a point where in most Final Fantasy games they ask you if you want to proceed to the final boss, or do you want to stay and try and finish everything. And I chose to try to stay and finish everything. And I didn't actually. I didn't really finish as much as I wanted to. I played the card game. I played some of the card game on the Game Boy Advance card game one, where your attacks are based on cards or something. But yeah, I think I finished probably just about 100% of the original Kingdom Hearts. The only thing I think if I remember correctly, the only thing I couldn't do was get, I think it was Sora's final holy weapon or whatever it was, his final weapon, because I had trouble trying to, there's something you're supposed to like use certain spells on the Tarzan level in the first one, and to get to get certain ingredients, and I had trouble trying to use the certain spells, because you're supposed to attack these little creatures with a certain spell that makes them do certain things, and I kept hitting them with the wrong spell. So that was actually really difficult for me, and that was like the only thing I wasn't able to do. Everything else I did, like I beat Sephiroth, I beat Cerberus, and all that stuff, but I just couldn't beat that Tarzan thing. But yeah, so I have, in general, I have a pretty good idea of what Sora can do. This is actually going to be really difficult for me, because once again, I'm not fully aware of Pit's full range of abilities. Now there are, I don't know, that's really difficult. I almost want to say, I really kind of want to say Pit, based on what the goddess does in Pit's goddess does in Smash Brothers, because I know she has some crazy moves. And I can't think of anything that Sora can do that's anywhere near that level. But the fact that they pitted them against each other makes me think that Sora has something in his arsenal that might be able to come close to it. So at this point, I would probably... I don't think Sora's ever actually killed anybody either. So I will probably give this to Pit. I think Pit might come out with this. But let's see. Because Pit deals with magic too. Because the Eggplant Wizard was one of his enemies. And yeah. So maybe. We'll see. I think this might be Pit.
This episode of Death Battle is brought to you by War Robots, the tactical 6v6 multiplayer game for iOS, Android, and Fire OS.
The game's like if Wiz's love for science and my love for weapons had a baby, wrapped in rich 3D graphics. My favorite bot is Griffin.
Pick up the game and see if you can take us down.
Install War Robots now and get a huge starter pack of the Leo Robot, 1 Kang weapon, 3 Molot weapons, 100 gold, and 400,000 silver.
Yeah, wow. Okay. Another game I have no access to.
If the fate of the universe is at stake,
Mighty
the
Max.
last person you should trust to save it is a naive teenager with magical weapons they don't understand. But everybody does it anyway.
Like Sora, the Keyblade-wielding savior of Kingdom Hearts.
And Pit, the angel warrior from Kid Icarus.
He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to
What
find
game
out
is
who
that?
will win a death battle. Once upon a time, there was a small child full of promise named Sora.
And he lived on the one and only Destiny Island. Sora and his friends Riku and Kairi grew up honing their athletic skills by playing sports with Final Fantasy characters who don't judge
Waka.
Sora's fashion choices. Wait a minute, what the hell are Final Fantasy characters doing there?
A hint of things to come. For the longest time, the residents of Destiny Island lived a peaceful life, but it wasn't long until a soulless
Really?
embodiment
So-
of evil would invade the island.
Original
This
inspired
was
by
the
Mickey
Heartless.
But the arrival of these creepy crawlers wasn't the only surprise. Alongside the darkness came light in the form of a Keyblade, which is the key to fixing everything. Super subtle.
This Keyblade in particular was known as the Kingdom Key, and was drawn to Sora thanks to his pure heart. With the Kingdom Key, Sora had the means to combat the Heartless.
By unlocking doors?
Well, yes, the Keyblade can get
But
past
also their
almost
hearts.
any lock out there. But despite not having a long, sharp edge, it's a surprisingly deadly sword.
It's a key, it's a sword, and it's also a wand. Sora can use it to cast all sorts of magic spells like a wizard. He can even shoot a laser beam all the way to the moon.
Unfortunately, despite his newfound weapon, the Heartless were overwhelming. The darkness washed over Destiny Island, and just like that, it was gone.
But thanks to cosmic reasons, Sora wound up face to face with Goofy and Donald Duck. Yep, he ended up in the most magical place on Earth, Disney.
If you're confused, don't worry. You are not hallucinating.
Yeah.
Somehow, in some way, this impossibility exists.
Yeah.
Turns out, while Goofy and Donald have been lovable cartoons for decades, they're also world-hopping warriors.
Oh my god, this is the best thing ever!
From then on, Sora teamed up with his new friends to lock the doors to the Hearts of Worlds, saving them from the Heartless grip.
And he wasn't even old enough to get a driver's license.
While Sora may not have been strong enough to save Destiny Island, he quickly learned an enormous amount of talents perfect for beating back the darkness.
Including some genuine ass-kicking magic, like shooting fireballs, freezing baddies with blizzards, spiting with lightning, and more.
He can reflect projectiles, manipulate time, magnetize objects, and even alter gravity.
He's got a bunch of other magic attacks, but my favorite is Ragnarok, which fires a bunch of homing energy beams. And I guess he's got some magic abilities that don't involve beating monsters up, which I think is pretty lame, but Wiz insists we talk about it.
Thanks to the Kingdom Key sword, he can use spells which remove negative effects, including curing his own wounds. He can also glide like Peter Pan and teleport like Figment.
Right.
still don't know if we should call it a sword. But Sora can make it even better with keychains. They can even transform the whole Keyblade into more powerful versions with way more badass names, like Oathkeeper.
With all these abilities, Sora battled the Heartless and took the fight to the man who discovered them, Xehanort. He even defeated Xehanort's Heartless and his nobody.
Oh, that's kind of harsh, Wiz. Why are you calling him a nobody? He's definitely somebody.
Here we go.
No, see, a nobody is a somebody without a heart. But a Heartless isn't a somebody or a nobody, though they may have been a somebody filled with anger, like Scar from The Lion King.
Well, I'm a somebody that's really, really confused.
But to save all worlds, Sora found he had to be insanely strong, fast, and tough.
He's speedy enough to run up a building and quick enough to dodge magic lightning.
Not just magic lightning, real legitimate lightning from the sky, a feat which could only take mere milliseconds.
Sora put all that
Wait,
speed
what?
to good use once by perfectly blocking hundreds of lasers from damn near every angle in just a few seconds. So it's safe to say he's no slouch.
As for
Oh,
his strength,
shoot.
not only has he cut through giant building-like structures with ease, he's launched them as projectiles. Though gravity is in flux here, a building this size normally weighs around 100,000 pounds.
He's held back 2 of Cerberus's heads and went toe-to-toe with Hercules.
Yeah, that's
you know,
right, I forgot
the
about
demigod who threw a giant rock monster into
He
space.
also beat Sephiroth.
Although this Titan's shape is too inconsistent to scale, by treating him as a series of cones made of granite, we can estimate his weight as over 1,600 tons.
That's like throwing 200 T-Rexes into the sky. So yeah, Herc is really, really strong, and Sora can take a hit from him, no problem.
Honestly, Sora's ability to take a hit might be one of his strongest characteristics. He's survived the jaws of Cerberus, ancient Chinese dragons, being shot by a musket, and, hell, the fires of Hades.
But he isn't without his downfalls. While he's strong in his own right, he relies a lot on his friends. Like, all the goddamn time.
He can't even enter his fancy drive forms, which boost his power and give him an extra Keyblade, without help from Goofy and Donald. So in a broad scope, he's fairly limited on his own.
No big deal, though. Luckily for Sora, most locks only need 1 key.
Uh-huh. I'm not sure if that was profound, or just stupid.
Yeah.
You're stupid.
The heart may be weak, and sometimes it may even give in. But I've learned that deep down there's a light that never goes
I'm
out.
still feeling a little confident about Pit.
Let us return to the distant past, to an age long ago, when gods
Pit
and
really
man
old,
lived
too?
together in harmony.
How long ago was this?
25 years ago.
What?
Anyway, the kingdom of Angel Land was ruled by 2 goddesses. Palutena, the goddess of light,
That's
and
her.
Medusa, the goddess of darkness.
Who pretty much treated everyone like crap by turning people into statues and destroying their crops.
My cabbages!
But hey, what'd you expect from a being who holds the title Goddess of Darkness? She's just doing her job.
Angered by these misdeeds, Palutena transformed Medusa into an ugly, one-eyed, parcel-tongued monster and banished her to the dark underworld.
Talk
Whoa.
about throwing shade. Long story short, Medusa waged war with Palutena, who summoned the greatest hero Angel Land has ever known. Hit!
My arrows will stop
Yeah,
that
Kid
Icarus,
Icarus.
Maximus.
No, definitely not that one. This one.
Good
Hang
Icarus.
on. Greatest hero ever? More like his mom needs to drop him off at elementary school.
Don't let looks fool you. Pit may seem young,
Oh.
but he is the captain of the Icarus army, keepers of the peace and
Really?
personal guards to Lady Palutena herself.
Wait, you're telling me this
Whoa.
Cupid-looking kid is the captain of an army? Well, at least he can fly with those wings. All right, that's pretty cool.
Actually, he
glides.
can't.
Yeah.
What? Look, he's flying right there.
Well, Pit may have superhuman abilities,
Nor
but
did
he
he say
can't
Icarus.
actually fly on his own.
That's
Thankfully,
a Captain
Palutena
Angel.
regularly grants him mystic wings, which do allow flight, though they can only exist for up to 5 minutes. After that, they burst into flame, sending Pit careening to a horrible end.
Holy shit. So the captain of an angel army doesn't have his own working angel wings. That's what you're telling me?
Yeah, it's a little strange, but don't try to bring it up. He's a
Yeah.
bit touchy on the subject.
Anyway, Pit managed to defeat Medusa, and everyone lived happily ever after. Just kidding, Medusa came back 25 years later, looking better than ever, by the way, and this time Hades came along to mess things up too.
As captain
Oh.
of the Icarus army, Pit has some extensive training under his belt. How else would all these soldiers save Palutena from a sudden invasion of vegetables?
Right.
Eggplant wizard.
But what's a soldier without his weapons? Pitt's got a huge arsenal of weaponry.
He's
Really?
well known for his archery skills and shows it off with his trusty weapon of choice, the Palutena bow.
This bow uses awesome laser arrows that can actually be guided by Pitt. And if his enemies get close, Pitt can split the bow into 2 short blades for
That must be
quick,
from
deadly
Mario.
slices.
That must be from
Now
Smash
that's a
Brothers.
practical weapon.
Yeah, that's Smash
He is
Brothers.
highly skilled with several classes of weapons. His arsenal has been imbued with the strength and power of the gods, making humans incapable of wielding them.
These range from orbitars, like floaty shoulder cannons that can also block attacks, to blades, cannons, claws, hammers, staves, clubs, and weaponized tattoos. I wish my tattoo was a weapon. Anyway, all these weapons were forged by Mentos, the god of forge.
Dintos.
Dintos, the fresh maker, and the guy who also crafted Pitt's ultimate weapons, the 3 sacred treasures.
Hidden away in 3 sealed caskets, the sacred treasures consist of Angel Land's mightiest weapons, which can only be used by the most heroic and worthy of heroes.
The mirror shield reflects projectiles. The wings of Pegasus give Pitt unrestricted flight and improved speed. And the arrow
Yeah,
of
they just
light
showed
is
the
the
Game Boy
ultimate
version.
weapon of the gods that can murder basically anything.
The Arrow of Light is absolutely the deadliest weapon in Pitt's arsenal, and increases in power based on Pitt's own health and strength. And when all 3 treasures come together, Pitt is granted the legendary Silver Armor.
You tapping into my stash of booze, Wiz? That's not silver, it's gold.
Well, colors are different in heaven, I guess.
Weird. Well, Pitt's learned several abilities throughout his adventures, like healing, dropping mines, and making his arrows invisible. And all of his skills came in handy. Not only did he defeat Medusa, but he's taken on alien pirates, a space kraken, and the god of death, Thanatos.
At one point when Thanatos attacked a village, he launched a large boulder which Pitt obliterated so thoroughly it was completely pulverized in mid-air.
Wait a minute. How are those Trojan horse Star Wars walkie thingies not tipping over?
Focus, Boomstick. Pulverization is defined as reducing an object to dust, which certainly applies here. To determine the force necessary to do so, we first need the size of that boulder. For that, we'll compare the boulder to those pillars.
Oh, here comes the math. Strap on your pocket protectors, nerds.
Thanatos, when standing near to Pitt, appears to be about 11 feet 6 inches tall. By comparing his height to the pillars, we've determined them to be 18 feet tall. By comparing that to the boulder, it's clear it has a diameter of 115 inches. To pulverize a stone this large, Pitt's strike must have outputted energy equal to nearly 1,600 pounds of TNT.
Damn, little angel kid can dish it out.
Pitt's also incredibly quick. He was able to maneuver, react, and fly from the top of these clouds to the lunar sanctum in less than 40 seconds. Despite looking like one, that's no moon. It's a space station, orbiting the Earth at a similar altitude to the International Space Station. The average distance from the ISS to the highest cloud layers is about 242 miles, meaning Pitt must have flown around 21,600 miles per hour.
That's Mach 28. Suck it, Starman.
Not only that, Pitt dodged a laser which covered this distance in a fraction of a second, most likely moving a little over 90 million miles per hour.
There we
Oh
go.
my god,
That's
that
what I was
not
looking
moon
for.
thing really is the Death Star.
With Pitt's superhuman durability, he's tanked hits from gods and taken falls that would turn any normal man into,
An angel?
well, a dead man, yes. In his final duel with Hades, the god of the underworld, Pitt took a devastating blow that sent him plummeting at least 2,000 feet. Given Pitt's weight, the impact of that fall would be over 8 tons of force.
And he was fine! This Hades guy can cut through giant diamond spires, so a hit from him could be as powerful as nearly 30 tons of TNT.
Yeah, I think
Of
this
course,
is
while
it.
Pitt may be formidable, he's not perfect. He has been tricked into losing fights multiple times, and often relies on assistance from his godly allies.
But this kick-ass angel isn't afraid to charge headfirst into a fight, even with his wings on fire.
In the name of the goddess Palutena, defender of all that is good! Those who hide in the darkness will be made to face the light. Fly,
I think this might be Pitt.
All right, the combatants are set. Let's end this debate once and for all.
But first, all this talk about slicing vegetables has got me craving some heavenly food.
I think so. They said about 90 million miles per hour.
That's right.
Like 90 million miles per hour, and it takes goes in like 40 seconds. So that was definitely faster than light, because light travels from the sun to Earth in about 6 minutes, I think it is, and that's about 93 million miles away. So I think that's something.
Right now, you're probably shouting at your screen, where do I sign up? Well, Blue Apron is treating Death Battle viewers to $30 off your first order if you visit blueapron.com/battle. So check out this week's menu and get your $30 off at blueapron.com/battle.
Not only that,
But
his
right
weapons, I
now,
think, were
it's
more
time for a
deadly
death
than
battle!
Sora's weapons were only removed parts. I don't think they actually they've actually killed anybody.
Go get him, pal! What he said?
So, whose rear am I kicking this time?
Sorry to keep you waiting.
I do like the fact that his bow actually splits into two twin
Take
knives.
this! Fire!
Whoa! Ha! I've seen candles that are scarier than you.
Oh yeah, his reflector shield. Ooh!
Let's take this to the next level.
Oh shoot! Wow!
Whoa! You can teleport? Mind blown.
Let's see what you think of this!
Ah! Whoa! Whoa! Close shave. Ah!
This is a good fight.
Stop!
Oh, Stopka.
Force!
Oh shoot, silver armor.
Time to end this!
You said it!
Oh shoot, I'm gonna be wrong. I'm about to be wrong. Oh, Sora.
Attaboy, Sora!
Wow.
KO!
Ouch! That's one way to fly too close to the Sora, sun. Pitt may have had the advantage in flight and experience, but he couldn't beat Sora's strength, toughness, and speed.
Pitt may have dodged a laser moving 90 million miles per hour, but Sora's reaction speed was quick enough to dodge natural lightning. A lightning bolt's return stroke, which constitutes the bright flash, moves at around 220 million miles per hour, over twice as fast as Pitt.
That, combined with his teleporting and time manipulation powers, meant Sora was just too quick for Pitt to land very many big hits. Plus, when Sora shot that Keyblade beam to the moon, it took 1 second flat.
That's 1.28 times the speed of light, much faster than anything Pitt's reacted to before. Of course, Pit did have enough weapons to keep Sora busy, but Sora's impressive and wide-ranging magical arsenal provided multiple counters for pretty much anything Pit threw at him, including superior healing techniques.
Hey, remember that building Sora cut through?
Wow. So, my record's been killed. I was worried about this. I really was. I should have gone with. I should have gone with my instinct on this, which was that there was something about Sora that I wasn't quite catching on to. That was a good fight. That was a really good fight. It was really close, which was why I had trouble trying to figure out if in fact it was a if in fact like one was grossly more overpowered than the other, and even they admitted it was a very close match. So yeah, Sora's just apparently broken. I didn't realize that. I was too hung up on how the Disney games work as opposed to the scope of what he could do. But yeah, that was definitely a good battle. Record broken. Dang. Or streak broken, that's what I mean. My streak is broken. Finally got one wrong. I don't think I've gotten one wrong since, I want to say Dante versus Bayonetta, but I'm not 100% sure I was on one side or another in that one. But yeah, let me know what you thought in the comments. Like, comment, subscribe, and share. And till next time, you guys, be excellent to one another and party on. Party on, dudes.
お前はもう死んでいる。Yes! Yes! 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 Yes!
Oh, wait.
I knew it!
Happened.
All you had to do is touch him once.
Was just get one hit it.
Yes! I called it!